Wilder Show podcast. I'm Scott, and there is Lauren.
Hello.
Wow, there you are.
I'm here. I'm right here.
More on that. Wilder Show podcast drops Tuesdays and Fridays, 6 a.m. Central Time or before on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeart, Amazon, YouTube, on the TikTok now and again, on Instagram at Wilder Show Pod. Our email is podcast@wildershow.com. Or just engage us there on the platform, wherever you listen. And give us a thumbs up or a comment or a question. Wherever you get your podcasts, just like, rate, follow, subscribe, and share. And we appreciate that. Lots to get into. Got a little World Cup talk. But let's start with the most important thing.
What's that?
Free Slurpees tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
So don't forget to get your free Slurpee at Semlem.
Today is my half birthday,
The
actually.
Blue Gook. Oh, it is. Well, good for you.
Thank you.
Happy whatever you are and a half.
Happy half birthday.
I didn't know we were still keeping track of halves.
It's I don't really keep track of it. I know when it happens.
How old
I'm
are you?
not like-
64?
I'm not
64. I'm 64 and
I'm not waiting for
64 and
gifts
7/12.
or acknowledgement or anything like that. I just know my dad was a nut about things like that.
And I would say, no, he
No.
was an enthusiast.
Well, that's a nicer way of
He was
putting
an
it. Yes.
enthusiast about dates and numbers
I
and
didn't mean
birthdays.
Yeah, I didn't
and-
mean nut to
How many?
sound derogatory at
Sure.
all.
The word
He-
nut is often used in a complimentary way.
In this case, it was.
So-
He wanted to know somebody
Yeah.
who had a birthday
On
on
every-
every day of the year.
I remember that.
Yeah, so that was the first question. I'm sure I
Mm-hmm.
know we've talked about it on the air before. I don't know if we've talked about it on the podcast before, but if he met you, his first question after introducing himself and you being introduced to him
Mm-hmm. Right.
was, "When's your birthday?"
Yeah, when's your birthday?
Uh huh.
Yeah, I know I've talked about this. He knew exactly how many days my dad lived. He was, your mom and dad were kind enough to come to my dad's funeral, and along with you, of course.
Yeah.
And he shook my hand, condolences and all that, and said, "Your dad lived," and he told me the exact number of days, which, by the way, I'm coming up on.
Mm-hmm.
I really am.
You
I'm
are.
really coming up on it.
Do you remember?
Like soon.
Yeah. Do you remember how many days it was? Do you remember what he told you?
I
mean, it wouldn't be hard to figure out, I guess. You factor in the.
I don't. I did figure it out the other day. I was just curious, and I think for me, it's gonna be on August the 12th.
Really?
I think, yeah, August the 12th. Speaking of that, our dad's birthdays will be coming up before we do the podcast again.
They will.
Yeah, on the 12th and 13th. So anyway, yeah, good times, good memories, good memories.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was kind of a nut about that. I must say, your dad, but in a good way. In a good way.
Nut in a good way.
Hmm?
Nut in a good
Oh
way.
no, yeah, he was a bit of a nut in a good way. World Cup talk. America, of course, is out. We talked about that last time, but upon further reflection, that loss to Belgium 4-1. I was watching that with my 92-year-old mother.
Oh, yeah?
We're watching the World Cup, and before it began, I told her there is no way America is going to win this match. It will not happen because it cannot happen.
Mm-hmm.
And it was right. And it was a sports god thing.
Yeah.
The sports gods would not let it happen. There's no way. Because we had the red card, and the red card caused our guy to get out, then our striker, can't play in the next match, which was going to be the Belgium match. But more important than the red card is the Trump card. And the president plays the Trump card, the capital T, Trump card.
Yeah.
He plays the Trump card, gets the ban overturned. Too late for Belgium to do anything. But Belgium makes their appeal, and it's turned down. When it was turned down, I knew we could not win. It wasn't going to happen. Frankly, it would have been better had we lost without that player than the way we ended up losing.
Oh, really?
We came back we're full strength. There's no reason why we shouldn't have won this if we were supposed to win it. But if we had won it, there would be an asterisk on that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, you won it because you cheated and you got the president of the host country to put pressure on the... And so I knew we wouldn't win. And obviously we don't believe in sports gods and all that. But, I've told you before when we watching baseball or baseball games on, and I'll go, man, a leadoff walk, gonna mean score. You know what the percentage is on if there's a leadoff walk in baseball, the percentage time that team will score at least one run in that inning,
I don't.
43% of the time.
Wow.
That's high.
Mm-hmm.
That's why the pitcher, when the pitcher walks that leadoff batter, is so intent, you may notice, in picking them off. The baseball players are very superstitious.
Mm-hmm.
And so they want to get that guy out because otherwise he's like, it's a little devil reminder there on first base.
Right.
Anyway, so we weren't going to win because we couldn't win. And that's kind of the way it goes. War update. Hey, here we are at the middle of the 60-day memorandum of understanding.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a good time to check on things. You know, the ceasefire, the peace, so we can negotiate the rest. You'll remember the memorandum of understanding.
I do.
Calls on Iran to open the Strait of Hormuz for free and fair passage. And then the U.S., of course, removes our blockade. And then we'll get busy, really busy, negotiating things like the ability to enrich uranium and the stockpile of existing uranium and ballistic missile production. And, of course, no hostilities, no bombings and such. So how's it going? Yeah, it's not. And it's not even a surprise. This is as it has been. Look, it is the unstoppable force meeting the immovable object.
Mm.
I mean, it's an impasse. It will not be resolved because it cannot be resolved absent either one side giving up, which doesn't seem likely, or if we were to truly obliterate the enemy. And those are the only options. So, the war continues. Lauren, you know that I am a bit of a nerd about, I'm going to keep talking. Don't chime in yet. I'm a bit of a nerd about court stuff.
Yeah.
I love watching court stuff.
Yes, you
it's
do.
so boring for most people, but I don't find it boring. I find it really interesting, irritating to most people. The way I am sometimes.
Interesting but irritating?
A little bit, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like a mild but persistent irritation. This will come as no surprise to you, and I've never told you this before. I've had people in my life, and I'm going back a few years, who, when I was talking to them and asking questions, and I do ask questions.
You do?
To try and figure, because if this is true, then that'll help me go to the next thing. It's all kind of connected.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'll ask questions, and I'll have people say things like, and actually as I'm saying this, it might have been you that said it. You are not Jack McCoy, and I'm not on the stand.
I think I did say that to you.
So I'm sorry about that. But I really, I think like I want to gather the information, for deduction, to deduce. You gotta know things. So you ask things. And anyway, so I'm geeking out over the Charlie Kirk case, watching it all week. It's only this week, and we're not going to have it beyond this week. Probably not for, maybe never. I'll get to that in a second. I don't think there's going to be a trial.
Oh, really?
There won't be a trial. I can't tell you everything.
Why?
Just because it'll be more irritating than even I am already.
But it's not because you know stuff.
Oh, no, I don't know anything.
No.
Well, I don't know. No, I don't know it. But
you're pretty sure you know. Yeah.
Sometimes you do.
Uh-huh.
But that is what's going on this week, and it's the preliminary hearing. It is the evidentiary hearing. It is where they determine whether or not there is enough evidence for there to even be a trial.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have some of the things that come in. Now, it's unusual for this to go this long. I mean, a whole week is long. Sometimes evidentiary hearings or preliminary, it's all sort of de facto. I mean, it is good because the bar is so low. I mean, the burden is only, is it more likely than not that this person did this? And if the answer is yes, then you have a trial.
Yeah.
And it's the real trial, the trial for guilt or innocence, or guilt or no guilt, that you get all the details. But they're putting a lot of details in this week. And I think it's because they want to show a force, prosecution does.
Yeah.
And they want to force, at the end of the week or sometime before there is a trial, a plea bargain. They want to, because he faces the death penalty, Tyler Robinson. I know you know the story, Utah Valley University. He's on campus. It's one of those things where he proved me wrong sort of thing, you know. People walk up to the mic and challenge him, and he picks up a mic and asks a question. They answer or whatever. And only 2 people got a question out. And amazingly, the second person to ask a question. It was a question about gun violence by the trans community.
Right.
And at that precise moment, from about a football field away, a guy whose roommate is transitioning and is his intimate partner fires a rifle at that precise moment that the question's being asked, and hits Charlie Kirk in the neck. They said it was a 30-06. I'm not going to get into the full details of the damage a 30-06 can do to a human being's neck. I'll just tell you that it can do tremendous damage to a bull moose's neck. It could take a moose down. Our necks are not as tough as the neck of a bull moose. Anyway, so that's the case, and you know the case by now. And this is the one guy. And he had a text exchange with his buddy, his roommate, the guy that's transitioning. And basically, if it's alleged. I mean, we've heard this stuff. It's being put in the court record yesterday. Sounds like a confession. And they did play a videotape of the guy. Is it Twiggs?
Lance Twiggs.
Lance Twiggs. Lance Twiggs is I'm not going to get into the whole thing about what is a furry, but it's he's trans, not only transgender. He identifies sometimes as an animal. I don't know what gender of an animal he identifies as, but there was a deposition with this guy, and it was played yesterday in court. And that's a big deal because the judge redacted about 7 minutes of it. And even Erica Kirk came out and said, you know, it should be transparent. Everything should be out now. Now, it's going to be out. It will be out in the trial. So I don't know what the big deal is. All we have to do, all they have to do right now is prove, is there a need for a trial?
Right.
That is the advancing of it. It should be enough, unless you really don't want there to be a trial. You just want a plea bargain. And when the guy faces the death penalty, at the end of this week, can't you see people going to him and saying, hey, listen, do you really want to risk your life? I mean, you face the death penalty. If you cut a deal and you say you did it, we can get you, 40 years or 40 to life or whatever, but possibility of parole. You can be out again. You can live. Do you really want to risk your life?
So if that it proves to be true and he is offered a plea deal and he does plead guilty, would you then believe that he did it, or would you not believe that he did it?
I guess I would.
Yeah.
I guess. Although, if he pleads guilty, because you're right, I don't believe he did it. Okay, so we'll just lay that out there. I don't believe he did it. But, or if he did it, there's no way that was a 30-06 that went into Charlie Kirk's neck and never came out the backside. There's no way. Not possible. That's. I'm not an instructor on ballistics, but I would say this: if he says he did it and he's going to suffer, he's going to be in prison for the rest of his life. That's a long time to be in prison, during which people could come out and say something else. The problem is it could never be appealed. You can't have an appeal if you plead.
Sure. So
they could have called him to be on the stand in this evidentiary hearing, but they didn't. They just played the videotape. And so the judge said, in light of the fact that he could not be cross-examined, we're not going to include all of this. So it just seems to me that if the goal is to get it to trial, there's going to be a trial. I mean, if they did almost nothing this week, there was going to be a trial. I don't think they want there to be a trial. I think they want a plea bargain, in which case all the investigation shuts down. Tyler Robinson can never appeal, and everyone will say, dust your hands off and say, it's over. And she can say again how she forgives that young man or whatever she wants to say. But I think it's far, far more complicated. And I don't think you even have to get into huge, conspiracy theories. It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. It's like I had a VW Beetle and I drove it 70 miles an hour into a concrete wall, and the front fender is all that was damaged. It's like a miracle.
Yeah, I understand.
It's like a miracle. It's like a miracle.
Why is nobody else talking about it?
Because they're shamed into shutting up. That's why. And honestly, and I say this because we haven't said much about the Charlie Kirk thing.
Yeah.
Because they have created a scenario where if you are critical of this idea, you are speaking ill of a, quote, grieving widow. And I'm not saying anything about, but I'm just telling you, That is the narrative. The narrative is you cannot question this. That whole thing of, I want to be, I don't really want to say very much about what
Yeah.
I have to hold some of this stuff back for when I'm a greeter at Walmart. Because we have to have some things. And by the way, I have tons of stuff, but we have to have something to talk about on my break when I'm a greeter at Walmart. And by the way, this is going to take up several sessions.
I guess so. I just to be clear, if I say, everything that if I agree with you, and if I knew enough to agree with you on all of the ballistic information, which I don't, I'll take your word for all of that. When I question that, it's not to take the blame off of Tyler Robinson and put it on any one other specific person or group.
Oh, sure. No,
it's
sure.
mostly just questioning that one thing. If he didn't do it, if it was impossible for him to do it with the rifle that he had, or with the ammunition that they say he used, if that couldn't possibly have been it, I do wonder, why is there not a larger outcry about that?
Some people believe, and I'm just telling you, this is an answer to that question. Some people believe that when there is a grand conspiracy, when you have people who are charged with the investigation, what if the people that are investigating it are the people that are overlooking certain? That's what some people are saying. I know. It's like we want it all to be, hey, this guy, he couldn't hear the question. He just happened to fire the gun at the question that was about his situation with his trans boyfriend. What a remarkable thing. What an amazing coincidence. And then the weirdest thing is, this came out this week. He was on campus, but campus is like 4 hours from where he lived. So he drove 4 hours from where he lived to do this thing. And when he's there on campus, and if we're to believe the texts, he's aware that they're getting close to where the gun was. They have the gun sniffing dogs. I mean, I hope they don't find the weapon that I used to do this to Charlie Kirk. Remember when I wrote those things on the bullets? Remember that? And it was wrapped in a towel, and it was my grandpapa's gun or whatever he said. I hope my old man won't be so. I hope my old man won't be mad if he doesn't get grandpa's gun back. But the weird thing is, so he's aware of the investigation. He's aware of the dragnet that has been put down.
Right.
Isn't it odd that he then would be back on campus that night after all this took place? Isn't the last place you would be in the car that is attached to you to be on campus at the place where you did this crime, a place where you do not attend? Wouldn't you be as far away from there as you could be? Also, he got Chick-fil-A before he did it.
Yeah.
Went by the, because when you're doing something, you got to have some sustenance. And so he went to the Chick-fil-A.
With other members, there were members of TPUSA at that Chick-fil-A at the time.
Oh, is that right?
I think that's what I saw. Yeah. And I'm not, this is not
And then
arguing.
also went to Dairy Queen afterwards, because you got to get
I didn't see
Blizzard.
Yeah,
or whatever.
didn't see that.
The nut bar.
Yeah, didn't see that. Dilly Bar?
Yeah, Dilly Bar. Good.
Yeah, logic would tell you that he wouldn't want to be still on campus after that. But I am not as much of a student of all of this as you are. But isn't it true that killers or child abductors often return to the scene and want to be a part of the search or whatever is going on?
Or if there's a fire, somebody is there, their face is glowing there, and the onlookers of the fire that they themselves had set or whatever. Yeah, maybe we'll see, but I don't think we will see. I don't think there will be, and I'm not saying something bad is going to happen right now to Tyler Robinson, but I don't believe there will be a trial. The judge will hold it over for trial, because this is the law in Utah. At that time, he will enter a plea, and he will plead not guilty, and then speculation will begin about whether there's going to be a plea bargain or so. There's that. Anyway, obviously, I nerd out over it. I'm not really super conspiratorial about it. There are things that don't make sense.
Yeah.
They just don't make sense. It is like that VW Beetle. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. It defies logic. How important is it to have control of the Senate? As we've said many times, it is very important. Come back to that in a second. You saw the news about 84-year-old Senator Mitch McConnell?
I did.
Boy, they have him in like a witness protection grade hospitalization. And coming up on the 4th week. And there is a big deadline that's coming up, and it's August the 3rd. Under Kentucky law, if McConnell is declared unfit for office before that date, there will be a special election to fill out his term. After that date, the seat will sit empty until whoever wins November's already scheduled race is sworn in on January 3rd. So a lot of people don't like Mitch McConnell. A lot of MAGA people, they don't like Mitch McConnell at all. And, it's funny because I think they forget how important he was in something that they really champion President Trump for having done. So if you talk to most people who either love the president or like the president or want to love the president or like the president, but they don't like the war, they don't like his tweets, they don't like some of those things, some of the stuff that he does or says that they don't like. If you picked one thing and you said, okay, give me the one thing. What is the one thing? The most important thing the president has done that even if you don't like what he says, you like what he does, what would that be?
Supreme Court.
I think that's right. It'd be the Supreme Court because the president was able to nominate 3 in the first term. In one 4-year term, he nominated 3 and they all got in. But before you give all the credit to President Trump, could I just tell you a little Mitch McConnell story?
Sure.
A lot of people credit President Trump for all 3 SCOTUS justices. But let me tell you something. If there had not been a Mitch McConnell, not only would Trump have not had 3 nominees to become justices on the Supreme Court, he would have only had 1.
Really?
It's all because of Mitch McConnell. One of those would have gone to Obama. I'll give you the details in a second. And one of those would have gone to Biden if it were not for Mitch McConnell. Okay, so let's run down some of the stats on this. We got to go back in time. It's February 13th, 2016. February 13th, 2016. Obama is president.
Yep.
We're going to have an election in the fall in 2016. Now, it turns out that's an election that Donald Trump wins. Mm-hmm. Okay. But in February, so 9 months away from the election, 9, Justice Antonin Scalia, my favorite at the time, arguably the most conservative Supreme Court justice, passes away. Remember? Mm-hmm. But it's 9 months before the election. Within 1 hour of Antonin Scalia's death, within an hour, Mitch McConnell declared that seat will remain vacant so the American people could have a voice in the upcoming election. So nobody was going to replace Antonin Scalia. Now, when he said that, he's not the president, so he can't forbid the president from nominating somebody. Mm-hmm. And Barack Obama did nominate Merrick Garland.
Right.
But Mitch McConnell's Senate majority refused to ever hold hearings. And it resulted in the nomination expiring in January 2017. Okay, so what that means is it's now Trump's. It's immediately Donald Trump's. So after the president is elected, Mitch McConnell navigates the confirmation of Neil Gorsuch. So Neil Gorsuch, that's the seat that Merrick Garland would have had. But Mitch McConnell said, no, we're not going to do. So but we're going to nominate him anyway. And Mitch McConnell said, nominate whoever you want. We're never going to hold a hearing. And they never held hearings. They let it die.
Did that seem kind of skunky to you at the time?
Yeah.
Like something that we would have been crazy about were it not benefiting.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But wait, it gets worse or better. So fast forward a couple of years. It's October 2018. It's the middle of Donald Trump's first term, and McConnell expedites the confirmation of Brett Kavanaugh for the second Supreme Court seat after a very partisan fight in the Senate Judiciary Committee. Okay, so that's 2. Mm-hmm. It would have been 1. It would have been only Kavanaugh, or whoever it would have been. But it would have only been an opening in October 2018 because the first one would have gone to Obama. It would have been Merrick Garland. So now fast forward to September to October 2020. I said October. In 2020, the election was in November.
Right.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg dies, and McConnell has a complete reversal of what he said in 2016, that whole election year stance. And we're 9 months away. We have to let the American people just.
Right.
Nope, not this time. This time we only have a month, but we're going to cram this thing through. And they did. And it was Amy Coney Barrett just days before the 2020 presidential election. So without Mitch McConnell, President Trump would have had only one Supreme Court nominee on the court. The first would have gone to Obama. The last one would have gone to Biden. But hold on, there's more. That first opening would have gone to Obama to replace arguably the most conservative member of the court, Antonin Scalia, with someone wildly liberal. So sometimes it's not just do you get a chance to name someone, but whose place are they taking? If you have the most conservative and they die and you replace them with someone wildly liberal, that is a huge net difference. Anyway, the makeup of the Supreme Court is something you give great credit to the president for. You might save a hat tip or two for Mitch McConnell, without whom it would not be possible. Oh, it is a time for Scattershoot.
Let's go.
Wilder Show Scattershoot. All right.
So what did you think about the wedding? We've had a little time pass since then.
Yeah.
But I've been so anxious to hear what you thought about the wedding.
I'm not sure you are. You're
a contrarian.
I was surprised. by some on the guest list.
Yeah.
By the way, she can do whatever she wants to do. It's her wedding.
If you're inviting 1,000 people or more, there will probably be some surprises.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it seems though, if you could only invite one person to your wedding, who would it have to be? It would have to. There's one person that is necessary for the wedding. You have the bride and the groom.
Yeah.
You have the witnesses and the family.
Yeah.
What if you only had one other person? Who would that person be?
An officiant.
That's right. And that would be Adam Sandler.
It was a little bit of a surprise to me too, but I'm still sort of surprised by the groom. So there's plenty
the
of.
most off-putting was actually the groom.
He's not who I ever would have expected her to choose.
The heart wants what the heart wants.
That's true.
That's what Woody Allen told us.
Said.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I mean, who knows? I wish them months and months or years and years of happiness.
Such a contrarian.
I wish them a lifetime of happiness. I hope that it goes quite well for them. And but it's a little bit weird to think it would be monetized. I thought it was weird.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, I think at some point the fact that we have seen no pictures from it means that somebody has the rights to something.
We've seen a lot of pictures.
No,
so
I know,
we just
but,
don't know which are real and if any of them are.
Yeah,
and
that's
which
true.
I think I've seen multiple wedding dresses that are all just a little bit different.
What they said was that she had 5 wedding dresses.
Oh, okay.
But
you know more than I do.
Okay, 5 wedding dresses, but 4 were decoys.
Oh.
She had 1. And if you see any pictures with Travis in anything but a white tux, that is AI, because he apparently was wearing a white tux. That's really all I know.
Okay.
And I saw some of the people that were invited. I feel bad for Blake Lively a little bit, but
no, you don't.
No, I don't. But it was I don't know. Whatever. It's. I did not think they would really get married. I assume
You're
that
still not sure they really are.
Well, they may really be married, but I have my own thoughts. And again, I can put this
so
off.
many thoughts.
I can put this off until we gather at the Walmart when I'm retired.
You're not going to have any time to work.
I know. Yeah, it's okay. I'll just say it's over there. I'm going to give all the stickers to some kid and say, pass these out when people come in. To check the receipts, too. What are you doing? Check the receipts. Anyway, like I was saying with the wedding, and also Charlie Kirk.
Uh-huh.
Hey, kid, check the receipts.
The list is long.
So anyway, I didn't really pay that much attention to it. I really didn't. I mean, I know when it went on.
You already know more than
I've read stuff. I know there are people that have theories. I don't want to speak ill of anybody. So we'll see.
Wait, what?
Well, people have ideas about. Yeah, you never heard that phrase before. I don't want to speak ill of anyone. No, I really wish
That usually
all the
comes
happiness,
right before
all the
somebody
happiness.
speaks.
Look, here's the deal. I was pulling for the other guy. I was pulling for the guy she dated for 6 years, longer than anybody
Really?
she had dated. What's his
Yeah.
name? Alwyn.
Joe Alwyn.
I was for that guy. He's a quiet guy.
For that, yeah.
Yeah, he was a quiet guy. He hasn't come out and made a big deal out of
No,
anything.
not at all.
To our knowledge, we don't
Mhm.
have any bad songs written about him. We have some other songs people have thought perhaps are about him that are quite good.
I think we have some sad
yeah,
breakup
mhm.
songs
But,
about
you know,
him,
six
maybe.
6 years.
I know.
And then she, dates
Yeah.
the PE teacher.
Yeah.
I expect more from the English teacher.
I do wonder if you're a songwriter,
Hmm.
especially if you're a prolific songwriter and a popular songwriter.
Mhm.
All of those songs that you wrote about other people continue to exist out there in the ether. They're songs that you will have to continue to sing in concert and in all kinds of, public public settings about somebody that you're not with anymore. That always seems a little bit. I mean, I guess if you're a professional, you get past all that
Yeah,
and you just cash the checks.
But it also has to do with what is a with? You're not with anymore. I mean, if you look at the total number that someone is with, how much are you really with? Except for Alwyn.
Well,
How much are you
that's
really
what I'm talking
with?
about.
That's what I'm saying. It's all everything is content. All is content. All is content.
I guess.
My whole life is content.
I do get a kick out of the people who are so upset about things, about the wedding. I saw something that people are so upset and calling her obnoxious after they found out what song she used to walk down the aisle. Now, to this moment, I don't even really know if this is true, but apparently she walked down the aisle to a string version of one of her own songs.
Yeah, that's true.
Of Love Story.
That's
and people
true.
are so upset about that. And I don't
What's
really,
that,
I
how
don't,
egotistical or whatever?
I don't understand why people are so upset about that. 40 years ago, I had a boss at a retail job, and he wrote a song that he wanted sung at his wedding. I sang that song at his wedding. I think I was probably 21 years old, something like that. But I mean, thank goodness for him, there was no social media for people to be upset with
Snarky.
him.
Yeah.
To want to have a song that he wrote performed at his own wedding. Why would people get so upset about that?
I think that's fine. I mean, we have people that, think of this. I think there have been people whose weddings I've been to.
Yeah.
Who, when she, I guess, walks down the aisle,
Yeah.
there is some song playing that somebody wrote, something other than the Here Comes the Bride thing that you're supposed traditionally people walk down to. But if
people are saying she was self-indulgent. And
I don't know, whatever. She likes her songs best.
She likes that song.
Yeah,
she
well,
likes
that's it.
that song.
She wrote a song, and maybe she wrote it a long time ago, and she thought, "Gosh, someday if I ever get married, after 30 guys I date or whatever, if I meet that football player, and shortly after that, get engaged, maybe I will, have this song, my song, sung at our wedding."
It is an old song.
Yeah,
2008.
sure.
That song.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
One of her,
so maybe
one
so.
of her
Good for her.
biggest,
Whatever, man.
Yeah.
Let people live.
If you don't get to be self-indulgent on your wedding day,
Exactly.
when do you get to be?
I'm not your showbiz 411.
You are a little bit.
A little bit.
A little bit. They did use another song. Guests were given a little embroidered handkerchief.
Oh, that's nice.
And it had their initials, T and T, on it with some little hearts and their wedding date and the location. And then there was also a lyric from the song Blank Space, So It's Gonna Be Forever, which I thought was kind of cute. And
that's a line from the song, right?
that is
from
a
song.
line from Blank Space, which Travis Kelce had once named a while ago on a podcast as his favorite of her songs. So maybe there was you're rolling your eyes at me.
It's like, hey,
It's cute.
if it's true, I mean, it's like, hey, Taylor, maybe if you're listening to my podcast, maybe, I brought you some bracelets backstage.
It wasn't before they met.
No,
it
I
was
know.
since they've met
No,
that
I know.
somebody asked him
the
what
whole
was his
thing-
favorite song.
Okay. Yeah, okay. I'm sure it probably is his favorite song. Who knows? Who knows?
Who knows?
I don't know. I don't know. There was something that you just said has prompted me to think something, probably something snarky.
From you?
It doesn't
I'm
matter.
sure it'll come back
No.
to you.
The snarky things come back quickly.
There was more news over the Independence Day weekend than just the Taylor and Travis wedding. Do you know what a TikTok takeover is?
I have seen this. It's sort of like they call it TikTok now because it's branding, but they used to do it like a flash mob.
It is
they
like
would
that.
like all the kids would be on a text chain, and then hey kids, we're all gonna
Meet us
stand like
here.
statues in the middle of the North Park Mall,
Yeah.
near the
It's not nearly
cinema.
as innocent
Yeah.
as that. Thousands of people descended on Newport Beach, California,
saw
last
this.
Saturday night.
Yeah.
Most of them were drawn by exactly what you said, a flash mob style meetup that was thrown out there on TikTok. The peninsula was already packed with, as you can imagine, tens of thousands of 4th of July celebrators out there. But as the night fell, there was a large crowd that obstructed traffic, set fires, and hurled explosives at law enforcement officers.
Yeah, I saw that. Can I just say? I mean, it looked like a big, hot mess. But just a ton of troublemakers.
It was.
I mean, just ridiculousness going on. And when that stuff happens, I like when law enforcement can come in and just, figuratively put the hammer down. Get these kids under control. Get these people under control. Remind them that they're not the center of the universe. They're not in charge. And it was a mess.
They did arrest a bunch of people.
Good.
They arrested like 102 people, which was up from, I think they arrested maybe 40 people last year. Many more were arrested this year. The ages of the arrestees ranged from 15 to 25. They'd come from Arizona, Nevada, other parts of California too. And it was announced largely on social media.
Yeah.
That's how people found out about it. And they all came and brought their
Mayhem ensues.
mayhem ensued. Yes, so unnecessary and just kind of ridiculous.
Skunky.
They were there was another one too. There was a fatal shooting of a 19-year-old man during a teen TikTok takeover in Pensacola, Florida over the weekend. There was another one in Chicago. 7 people were injured in 2 shootings following a teen TikTok takeover. This is also has led to U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia, Janine Pirro, to increase enforcement of existing laws addressing a parental responsibility when minors engage in criminal conduct in the District of Columbia. So if you think this is something that is just all about the kids, if you're, I mean, nobody who listens to the Wilder Show podcast would have a kid who would ever partake in anything like this. But just be aware, these are the kinds of things that parents could be held accountable for in the future.
You're not off the hook as a parent. And, by the way, nor should you be. But, here's the thing, though. In society, when you do this, you say, oh, yeah, you got to give got to hold the parents accountable for, the action of their kids. Okay, that's okay. But I would say you are going to give them the ability to discipline their children, right? You can't just make me responsible for what my kid does wrong and take away my ability to steer them back into a right way of living. And I think that's the definition of hell is not really, but the definition of hell is I have all the responsibility and none of the authority.
Right.
I have all the responsibility for my kid, if my kid does something wrong, but I have none of the ability. Society won't let me pick your method of bringing children into compliance.
Well, what are you talking about here? What kinds of things are you talking about?
At the very least, corporal punishment. I mean, do you have the ability to do that? Can you do that? I'm looking. People of goodwill could disagree about all that kind of stuff early on, and obviously, you're not talking about kids that are 4 that are not doing flash mobs.
Yeah.
But hey, you fall the way you lean. You don't stake a tree when it's little. It's going to fall over when it's big. So don't be surprised if a tree that is left unstaked, either comes unrooted or is blown over by the wind. So let parents be parents and then hold them accountable for the behavior of their kids. But you gotta let parents have the authority to bend that behavior back.
The Emmy nominations came out this week.
Yes, I thought of you when I saw something about awards.
You know I like my awards
Now,
shows.
just for those of us who either have never known or who, as quickly as possible, forget,
Mm-hmm.
The Emmys are awards for.
Wait, you're going to ask me what they're. You don't even know what they're for.
They're
Of
for
course
TV,
you
right?
do. They're for TV. They're for
Okay.
television.
I mean, sometimes you have things that are for TVs and movies, but the Emmys are not.
Yeah,
Right?
Golden Globes are TV
And movies.
and movies,
Mhm,
and I think the SAG Awards maybe too
I think that's right.
are
But anyway, this
are
is not.
television and
Yeah,
movies.
yeah.
The
This is
Emmys,
only
yeah.
TV.
Emmys are only TV.
But there's a separate daytime Emmys too, isn't there?
Yeah, there is.
So many things.
So many things to keep track of. Whenever the nominations come out, one of the first things you always see is who got snubbed.
Snubbed.
Who got snubbed and why? The
Yeah.
first headline I think I saw was, why did the Emmys snub Taylor Sheridan again? And I would just ask, why is not getting a nomination a snub? Not everything that is popular is good, right? And that's okay.
What you're asking, what makes something snubbed? Usually it's very subjective. Usually it is, if I liked it and it wasn't awarded, then that's a snub. If I don't really care about it and it's not awarded, it's not a snub. That's usually the way people feel about it.
Yeah, probably so.
But it just remind people, Taylor Sheridan is the
Yellowstone
guy.
and
The whole
Landman,
everything.
and
Landman,
all of those things. And
Yellowstone,
I have to tell you, I've
Tulsa
seen.
King.
Oh yeah, I've seen very little of his work. I know that it's wildly
That's good.
popular.
Yeah.
A lot of people in my family watch them. I have nothing against them. I just haven't seen most of them. I did watch some of the Madison though.
Now that's also a Taylor Sheridan. That's the one that they're saying was a snub.
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. Yeah. And you know what? It's not very good.
You know, that's very
I
good.
know. There's beautiful
Who's in it?
scenery.
What's in it?
Kurt Russell
Love
and
him.
Michelle Pfeiffer are part of the beautiful scenery.
Okay.
Kurt Russell, I think he did a pretty good job. He's not in a ton of it. That's not a spoiler.
Yeah, don't spoil it. Yeah.
But I was going to say that the acting is subpar. Maybe it's just par.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's just par.
But it's not. It's nothing really special.
She did get nominated for something else. She got nominated for Margot's Got Money Troubles. I
Never
think she
seen
got
it.
nominated for Best Supporting Actress
okay.
for that. But the whole snub thing, I mean, there's plenty. I get pretty worked up
Yeah.
about this. There are a lot of nominations that I don't necessarily agree with, but what do I know? It's not, and I don't think that it's because it's either my favorite or not my favorite. There are some things I really look at and legitimately think how everybody loves The Pit. Don't.
Never
I
seen
mean, you can. I'm more than happy to hear from people who love The Pit and tell me why you love The Pit. Maybe the story is. I think it kind of limits itself a little bit by saying that it is. If it's 15 episodes, it takes place in
One day.
15 hours,
15 hours,
of
yeah,
like
yeah.
one 15-hour shift in a hospital emergency room. I think that is limiting a little bit.
It worked for 24, right?
It did, but you
24
know
was a
what?
different
But
thing, though.
it was
But
a
yeah.
different thing, and you and I had plenty of arguments back then about whether or not all of those things that they said happened in
Oh,
a
sure, it could
24-hour
happen.
period
Yeah.
really could have
Yeah,
happened
and then they did
in a
change.
24-hour period.
They did change for a while. The first couple of seasons, they would say the following takes place between 4 and 5 a.m.
Yeah,
And then they would say events occur in real time.
yeah,
And they
Yeah.
removed that because it really didn't make sense.
Yeah.
And it was kind of crazy to think, wait a minute, you got from point A to point B. It's impossible to get there in an hour.
Right.
And you got there in 12 minutes.
right.
So, yeah, but yeah, I got to suspend.
Suspend a little disbelief.
Yeah, I got to suspend a little disbelief because it is make believe, you know.
There are a few shows that I know you like. Are you interested in any of the categories in particular?
I don't really know enough. I like dramas.
Yeah.
I like,
You like The Diplomat?
I love
Right.
The Diplomat.
That's
And I like-
nominated.
And is that the season 3?
I think so.
Let
Yeah.
me tell you, season 3, as I recall, is the best season.
Mm-hmm.
That was the Janney season, right? What's her
Allison Janney.
name? Oh,
Yeah.
Allison Janney. Yeah. Diplomat was good. I was not a fan of the first season very much. Second season was, I thought, good, better than the first season. But the third season was really good, and I enjoyed it. Not a huge fan of Kerry Russell, not that much.
Oh, really?
I know people love her, but she's okay.
You know,
But I thought the acting was really good in that.
the show that her husband is in, Widow's Bay,
Yes.
19 nominations
Yeah.
for its first season.
Was that her husband in real life?
It is.
Oh,
Matthew
son of a gun.
Rhys. Yeah.
I guess I forgot about that. Yeah,
Yeah.
Widow's Bay. That is a very odd show. I think we separately watched the entire season.
Didn't know that
and had
the other
never
was
even
watching it.
didn't
Yeah.
even talk to each other about it. I loved it.
Yeah.
I thought that was it's odd though. It's sort of an odd
It is
thing,
odd.
and it was actually nominated. I think in a comedy category.
It is.
Which is a little weird because I would put it as a drama thriller.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of dark comedy, I guess.
Yeah.
But it was.
Also with
But I
like
liked it.
really scary clowns and undead
Yes.
people.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
good. Yeah, good.
Yeah,
So
I
what
like
are the
that.
other things that I liked that were made it?
Pluribus, which
love-
you know,
Well, that was the one with the blonde girl,
Ray
right?
Seahorn. Yeah,
What's
she
her
loves
name?
it when people call her the blonde
What's her name
girl.
now?
Ray Seahorn. Okay,
Oh,
so
I thought you said Racy Horn.
no,
It's Ray Seahorn.
Ray Seahorn,
Got it.
who we loved in Better Call Saul.
No question.
She got nominated a couple of times for that Best Supporting Actress, never won. I don't think anybody ever won a single award for Better Call Saul,
Yeah,
which
that's too bad.
bothered us because we
We
loved it
loved
so
it,
much.
yeah.
But now she's nominated
Seahorn.
for Best Actress.
She
and
is really.
I love her. I will be disappointed if she wins. I mean, it probably sounds silly.
go
I'll be
ahead.
disappointed if she wins for this, but she never won for Better Call
Yeah.
Saul.
Yeah. Ray Seahorn.
Mm-hmm.
Ray Seahorn.
Ray Seahorn.
Ray Seahorn.
Mm-hmm.
I like that one. What else you got?
One thing that you and I talked about before. So Matthew Rhys is nominated twice. Matthew Rhys is in Widow's Bay. So he's nominated
Sheriff.
for a mayor.
I mean the mayor. Yeah, the
He's
mayor
the
of the little
mayor.
island town.
Yeah. So he's nominated for two categories.
Okay.
He's nominated in lead actor in a comedy for Widow's Bay.
Yeah.
And then he's also nominated in lead actor for a limited series for The Beast in Me, which I did not see. The only other thing of note that you alluded to just a little bit is in the Best Actress, lead actress in a drama, there are 7 nominees and 4 of them are from The Pit. Which
Yeah, I've not seen it. I can't really comment on it. I think people want it to be. Look, ER was a great show.
yeah,
Everybody loved ER. Everybody loved ER. Loved the stars that were in it, the great performances that were there. You can name 5 different, more than that, great performances by great big stars.
yeah.
Great big stars. And maybe people are looking for that, and they saw this as a not ER, but close.
I mean, that could certainly be true in the future. I think when ER started, none of the people in it were great, big
No, that's
stars.
True. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
They kind of grew to that. I think we knew a few of them from other things. But the other thing, in the comparisons that I've heard between The Pit and ER, and something that wasn't true of 24, that real time aspect of it means you can't ever really leave the hospital.
It's true.
You can't, I mean, at the end of the show, maybe when the shift is over, you might see him in a park or something like that.
You're always on set.
You're always in the hospital, which was not true at all for 24. I
Well, think
mean,
about
he
that for
was
a
all
second.
over the place.
But let's think for a second. Aren't there people, and you've watched it, I've not seen it. Is there anybody in the show that is like an ambulance driver?
Yeah.
Or are they ever in the ambulance? Or are they
No.
always
They're usually
Okay.
getting out of the ambulance
loading-
and coming
bringing
into
somebody
the
in?
hospital. Yeah.
dumping somebody off? And
Yeah.
Hmm.
I don't know. There might. I mean, if you love it,
Interesting.
I'm very happy for you.
Yeah.
And tell me.
Why you
I've
love it.
also heard people say, it's so realistic. It's so much like actually working in a hospital. If you work in a hospital ER, I would love to hear
You know
what you think about The Pit and what makes it something. What makes it so? What am I missing?
That is the Wilder Show podcast. Drops Tuesdays and Fridays, 6 a.m. Central Time or before on Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeart, Amazon, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. We are there. And on Instagram as Wilder Show Pod. You can engage us where you find us on that platform. So thumbs up and comment or question is fine. Or send us an email to podcast@wildershow.com. Wherever you get your podcasts. Would you like, rate, follow, subscribe, and share? And Lauren, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time.
Da 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 da. Da 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 da